Uh, we got one day. Still, again, not the best lighting right here. I need to put another light bulb in there. But we have one more day to December, and can't wait till the holidays are over. I see, like, I tell you one day when the new Trump thing. I just went to look to see, like, because they were talking about, oh, he twitters, so I went to see his Twitter page, and he said something ridiculous like we're gonna bring our jobs back. I don't think that he deals with. Well, I know, like it's like living here in Memphis now, and having, like, when they say that the South is racist, it is of course true. The bad part about it is, on both sides they been misinformed. Uh, uh, they have a some type of the white people have some, like, illusion of grandiose. Uh, uh, the black people are just buying into the white ego, and because if you look, like, even like the old, like, black and white movies, they talk about immigrant white people showing over, you have movies where you see, like Humphrey Bogart, where he well, let's just go into, like, the true stories, like Al Capone. They're all about, like, criminals. They had prohibition, like they have with marijuana. That's another thing. As long as you have laws like marijuana laws, where marijuana stays in somebody's system for 30 days, but like crystal meth, cocaine will be out in 3 days. You know, so you could have people that are on cocaine and crystal meth, get those jobs. I know for a fact that plenty of policemen, in the 80s and the 90s, was very heavily uh, uh, on cocaine and crystal meth. But the same thing happened with alcohol in the 20s, so it's a matter of making, so they know that they're not, and they were trying to get, move the jobs overseas. That's what the racists like Trump people were before, and Pence, and before, they wanted the jobs overseas because the niggas was making too much money. When the minimum wage was $1.35, right? And all they wanted, since, at that time, men were, the propaganda was like, men working, women stay at home. Uh, um, so they just, I think they went from making $1.35 to making $5 an hour to $7 an hour, right? And then white people got jealous, went in there, we're gonna get 16. As soon as they were like, and then the companies knew, they were like, oh, you might as well ask for 32 because we're leaving. So the unions asked for 32. The unions end up getting paid by the companies to go ahead and sabotage the people's job there, and you could see the results, like in Detroit. But if it wasn't for racism and it wasn't for hate, those jobs would have never got over to Indonesia. They had to have a whole war so we could have factories in Vietnam. We had to make them good Christians, and now they have some of the highest sex crimes, and brothels, and child trafficking. Uh, 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 you know, uh, but it's a good thing that the church showed up there for him. So I think what we're gonna see, and I'm looking at, because they're talking about they're gonna get rid of healthcare and all this stuff, and because of the way, you know, like, if you look at an example of any of the Trumps and his business, they've both been, cons and white collar, and he's been extremely lucky because, I think that he has a lot to do with himself. He has three wives. I've known someone that had three husbands. So, and and I can say my three husbands were born in the United States. They were product of our public schools, right? And they was horrible people. You know what I'm saying? I had, my first one was black, then I had an Arab, and then I had a white one. And let me tell you, if you are a person, like if you're a man and you got mother issues on top of, you know, and well, I guess one of them was an American, from the same freaking area near Russia where, you know what I'm saying? Um, because like most of the Russians I knew back then, they were all Muslims. So, so I think Trump's wife, she's probably Muslim, you know. But I mean, and then and let me tell you, with three religions, like with the Christian, the Jews, and the Muslim, well, let me tell you for a fact, and if you ever look, the church was trifling. I mean, again, if you look at John Newton, the one that names on Amazing Grace, you know, um, and still like the church, like they had a whole bunch of people when they retired to write down the music that they were stealing from the people out of Africa. Because anything, it didn't take much, just a drop, 1 ounce of black, and these people were going to be like rich for 6 generations. But the payments that the way they reward you, just like the way they reward the American Indians, is a new is a modern day example. Uh, by and let me tell you, it's no mistake that they have a high amount of their children's, showing up murdered after being raped. You know, uh, um, and a lot of it is and you can see these people in Standing Rock. All they want to do is preserve water. They want to preserve the water because it's so important to the life of everything on this earth. Uh, and to for you to so like now what they're gonna do now. Well, what they're gonna do now is they're gonna kill one of them because they want to have war, and that's what's gonna happen with Trump and Pence because they're thinking they're gonna bring the jobs back over from Vietnam, Indonesia, whatever your labels on the back of your clothes say. Well, this one I don't have a label. I made it, but this T-shirt, they're all from, no, we don't grow cotton here. And I don't care. The propaganda works. You got a lot of black people right now. You say something about cotton, it's something that to them was a shame for, but it was something that fed, big families. Farmers had big families, and they lived spread out. They wasn't bunched up in the city, so they could do that. And they could, and when the white man first came here, before they totally massacred, the natives, Indians, and this is what's gonna happen up in North Dakota now. They're gonna come in there. Well, we told them to move. It doesn't matter that our treaty said that this is actually their land. It doesn't really matter. We could come in like what they did our family property time and time again, do an easement and take it out with a road. We got so many goddamn roads up in Memphis and Mississippi. They got more roads, right? And it's so fucking hot. And they wonder why it gets hot, but we're gonna make some more roads. But do they fix the old shit? Not to where you could tell. So this is going to be the Trump's new world because they're not going to be able to bring jobs back because those people are depending on those jobs to feed, clothe, and house themselves. Here in America, we got sex, we got sports, we got crystal meth, we got cough syrup, whatever the kids are drinking now and their Sprite. We got all this shit to keep you preoccupied. Quaaludes, Prasidyls, Percodines, heroin. United States is the consumer. We got so that's but like especially with Trump, we're not. Like their ideas of bringing jobs is not. It's not gonna. What I mean? It's not gonna happen because I haven't heard one iota of jobs they're gonna bring. But it does sound like Well, unless you the privatization of the prisons, you know, some more fake schools to drain more Americans' money out that's working at McDonald's and Burger Kings, right? But we all know Trump likes McDonald's and Burger King, which is a good argument not to eat fast food. Look at him. You know what I'm saying? If he wasn't buying those women, because he's just a played out trick, you know, a old homemonger. If he hadn't bought that woman, and it's like, what's she gonna be doing up in Russia? Russia don't got no jobs or money. The only thing they have is prostitution and drugs they selling. Anyway, we'll see how the new America is when this motherfucker is all look like a blown out. Never mind. Get ready. White man love war. A racist Republican. Hey, you know what I'm saying? The NRA, they making all their money from guns, so they probably gonna be a massacre. It wouldn't be the first time they just massacred a whole bunch of peaceful unarmed Native Americans. You could just look in the history books. You could look back like what in the 70s. What was it up in upstate? Was it upstate New York? Oh, but you know what I'm saying. But let it be some white people in our national park, right? That they're really trespassing. They break into a place and they leave a bunch of trash that place, but they didn't find nothing wrong with them. So it tells you a lot. Everybody look at an old black and white movie from 1945. You'll only see you know what I'm saying. You only see white people doing criminal acts. They came over here doing the same thing they're doing at Standing Rock. And so that's what we're gonna have. We're gonna have a bunch of guns and percussion grenades and because they're making a lot of money up at this. What is it? I don't know what county it is up there in North Dakota near Standing Rocks, but they're making a lot of money with the court fines and all this, that, and the other. And then of course policemen love working all that overtime. So and then they got all those motherfucker war toys, and they don't give a fuck if you unarmed or not. That makes them more fucking pissed off. From my dealing with the police around here, it's like I finally called to make a complaint about, how dare them like beat me up and then throw me up in a fucking Mills place. I just have to, I just tell the psychiatrist. Well, the psychiatrist is looking at me. They beat me up. The psychiatrist is looking at what they wrote, and and they let you know that you can't sign yourself out. So you're like, well, let me sign myself out. And then when I'm calling them, because I call the police about this girl that, points a gun up at me. But this girl up here, and let me tell you something about people that get whooped. They're fucking psychotic. But they think that anybody else's behavior is not like them. You know what I'm saying? Like, she just, her mom did a lot of crack while she was pregnant. We have a lot of, kids that was born with a lot of, birth defects. And then when you start hitting them, whooping before they're 2 years old, and it's the norm around here. It's a damn shame that niggas fell for that lie propaganda. And they beat their kids and they cause damage. You know what I'm saying? And then you end up with a damaged community like we have here in Memphis, where they could get away with, putting 40% of their population in prison and faulting the child and not looking at the whole system. Why is the school pumping this out? Is our schools bad? Is the food bad? Yes. And does that make us bad people? No. It only makes you bad people if you know it and you continue to do it. All you have to do is very simple. It's very simple, but it would cause you to have to do more for yourself and live longer. So, you'll have to, be a little tired and do more for yourself, But anyway, it ain't going to happen. But I hope up in Standing Rock that they understand that it is a good time to start indoor plants. that if you like here you're gonna get 54 acres and you're gonna double that. Think about making you know uh, uh, each, like, that's what yards was made for, so you could, plant your own food and everything else. Because especially now with Trump, and I'm gonna have to get better at planning because I suck. But especially with Trump, we're not gonna have any more food. We're dependent, and that's how they got us. We're dependent on food from them, right? Like, they make all the, so and they're gonna fight back hard. Like you doing your food just like you want to have clean water. I don't know what the hell they must have. They're gonna melt some more. That ice up. At the ice points and the polar points, they're gonna just melt some more ice, and I wonder how long. And then as long as the planet is heating up, the planet is heating up because of us, putting cement all over the earth. Those highways generate and hold and reflect a lot of the heat back up in the atmosphere. So we got a hole in our ozone, mainly because we got rocket ships busting right through that thin like fiber, and bust through it. Whatever reason you want to say, aerosol, whatever. But we got holes up in there, so that a lot of our the coolness is anyway. So it's heating up, and our air quality is becoming more full of carbon, which is something we don't breathe that well. And then we have a lot of fossil fuels, cars, you know, uh, airplanes, and we all know what they are. And this time of year we have like this Memphis is cold, and I'm doing gas here. It's a little warm, but it's cold and gas. Gas heater. So all these add to the warming of the planet. And what happens when it evaporates? Water evaporates more. So we're gonna have less and less water because of fact of this being the hottest 2 years in a row. The water's evaporating. We have less rainfall, so the water that we do have left is going to be saturated with oil. This will increase our chances of being an extinct planet a lot sooner.